tuning into Mirror Now. You're watching The Big Story with me, Avni Raja. Let's take a quick look at the headlines first. Students from various schools in Delhi NCR demand their right to breathe. Hundreds participate in a march and demand answers on deteriorating air quality. As North India chokes this winter session, Centre decides to bring in next generation of emission norms earlier than planned. Sets April 2018 as the deadline for BS6 norms in Delhi. 6 people dead due to lack of medical support. 30,000 doctors on strike for third straight day in Karnataka, protesting against the proposed changes to the medical bill. Empty seats mark yet another day of the Karnataka Assembly's winter session at Belgavi. State faces serious governance issues, but netas bunk and party instead. Karni Sena resorts to death threats. Vandalism and protests spread from Gurugram to Kota and even Bengaluru. Times Network exposes how the fringe is strategizing to take law in its own hands.
पर यदि कोई हमारी भावनाओं के साथ खेलता है, हमारी ताकत को नजरअंदाज करता है, तो भविष्य में बहुत बड़ी कीमत चुकानी होगी.
As Padmavati controversy escalates, BJP MLA Ram Kadam uses the Film Workers Union card to threaten Sanjay Leela Bhansali. Four separate incidents of attack on women shocks the nation yet again, raises the question of women's safety. Women were stripped, filmed, raped and assaulted. Our focus today on The Big Story is on the state of Karnataka. On one hand, 30,000 doctors are on strike in the state, protesting a bill which they believe has unfair provisions. And on the other hand, netas seem to have no time to attend the assembly sessions and address important issues like this one that actually affect the lives of citizens. Our phone lines are open. Call us, tell us what you think. Do you feel let down by your netas? Let's in fact begin with the issue of the doctors' strike in Karnataka, where more than 30,000 doctors have been protesting, demanding that the government redraft the Karnataka Medical Amendment Bill. And no signs of the protest being called off yet, with more than 600 private hospitals and clinics all set to join the stir from Thursday. In fact, the outpatient departments as well will be closed. As a result, the health services will take a massive hit. And already, 6 patients in North Karnataka have died due to the unavailability of doctors.
Now suddenly there was an amendment made which is very retrograde, anti-progressive, which is going to really kill the healthcare services of the entire Karnataka state. So we made many appeals and we did already 3 rallies. One in June 16th when the assembly was held in Bangalore, a big protest rally. And we also symbolically 3rd of this month, November, we had a OPD closure, symbolic protest. For that also there was no response. And on 13th, we had a huge, massive protest rally at Belagavi. Across the state, people had participated. And still, our Honorable Health Minister is adamant on this issue rather than really understanding the concerns of the healthcare and the concerns of the people. So we were pushed to the corner to take this kind of a step.
But our elected representatives don't seem to care. On Tuesday, we showed you how the Karnataka Assembly had to be adjourned because of poor attendance at the ongoing winter session in Belgavi. In fact, one of the core issues that should have been the contentious Medical Amendment Bill, which is not yet under the scanner.
Yeah, I think that we have to consider it and maybe talk to them and try to do. Let us see. I don't know what mood. We have our CLP meeting also. I mean, majority of the party, MLAs and all are going to talk on this subject today also there. So let us see what happens.
Sir, doctors who are agitating are now in dialogue with our Chief Minister. They met him yesterday. I hope things should get resolved. That's why SAM is trying to hasten the process of consultation and decisions.
Oh, this Congress legislature party is convened basically to take the opinion of all the legislators this strike, which is the ongoing agitation by the doctors in the state.
See, that is their demand is there. They want to be safer side. We want to think about the whole people of the Karnataka. So we have to take a decision. We are waiting for the assembly to take what steps we are going to take now.
And the Honorable Chief Minister has already assured them that they will consult everybody, he will consult everybody and take a final call.
But as far as their protest is concerned, some of your...
No, you see, their request is definitely under consideration, and Honorable Chief Minister has already assured them that he will discuss once again with everybody and take a final call on that.
Not just that, there were also those netas who decided to utilize their time in throwing their weight around, making a fuss about the food available at the assembly. And meanwhile, actor turned MLA Ambarish, known to be a frequent absentee to the legislative sessions, was seen having a merry time and dancing his way through an audio launch of the upcoming movie. Meanwhile, the Congress came to the MLA's defense, stating that the MLA is also an actor and deserves separate, different treatment.
See, he is also a professional actor, so he is also in shooting, and so that may be the reason. So I think unnecessarily things are being highlighted. I think TV channels should concentrate more on important issues, because he is an actor who is gone for shooting. So during that period, if somebody takes some shoot and shows it, I don't think it means anything. Ambarish is a different kind of politician, first of all, because even as a minister, as a union minister, we remember he didn't attend the minister's office because of his own reasons, the Mandya, the Kaveri issue and all that. So he's a very emotional and a different kind of politician, and different rules I think kind of apply to him. But I don't think we should take this too seriously.
All right, joining me now is Shrija for more details on all of these issues. Shrija, first let's talk about the doctors' strike, which just seems to be increasing and showing no signs of letting off at this point. Help us understand what really is the issue, those contentious provisions that the doctors are talking about. Take us through what they really are and what are their demands.
Well, Avni, what you see here on ground is most of the hospitals, especially the OPD departments, have been completely shut. And this is just not the strike, which did not begin all of a sudden, because remember, we have been seeing this clash for over 2-3 months, because this ongoing tussle is between the doctors, the private doctors under the umbrella of Indian Medical Association and the government officials. Now, the bone of contention here is the Act, the KPME Act, the Karnataka Medical Private Establishment Act. Based on that 2007 Act clearly makes it a point saying that they need all the private hospitals to be registered under this particular Act. Also, it talks about the obligations like maintaining records and also furnishing especially the prices of each procedures of all medical procedures. But now newly added, which has caused a stir among especially the doctors across Karnataka, is asking the doctors to be liable, because be it medical negligence, we have seen in the recent past a lot of cases, a number of cases of medical negligence, and that particular clause has been added in this particular act, which clearly states that any doctor found negliging, in fact found guilty, or in fact violating or flouting any kind of medical ethic rule, they will be held responsible and also will be sent to jail. Now, that is one of the reasons why we see now doctors continuing to stage protests. And also another point to be noted here is they do not want any grievance redressal cells to be set up, because any doctors who are found guilty, or if a patient wants to register a complaint, can register a complaint with this particular redressal cell. Now, clearly that is that these redressal cells, they do not want to be implemented. And also the third thing here is this particular act is only for the private hospitals, but the doctors over here across Karnataka are demanding that even the government hospitals be included in this particular act. Now, that is exactly the bone of contention. But the sorry state of affairs here is we see more than 50,000 doctors going out in the strike, and the latest update what we hear is that most of the OPD services will remain shut until the Karnataka government takes a decision.
Right. All right, Shrija, stay with us. We've got a caller. Mahesh is calling from Coimbatore. Hi, Mahesh. Thanks for calling in. Tell us, what would you like to say?
Yeah, good evening. kudos to your channel for bringing this issue out. As you rightly said, this is an essential service and people are getting affected. But you cannot blame our netas because our netas are very busy, whether to screen Padmavati or not, what Deepika Padukone wears or what she doesn't wear. So they are very busy. You can't disturb those people. And they are not bothered about the Aam Aadmi because if they get any injury or health disease, they'll go to some other state and get cured. It is only the common man who is getting trouble. It is high time that these MLAs and politicians are being taught a lesson. When they go for some medical checkup, the doctors should refuse to treat them. Then they will understand what is the pain of an ordinary citizen. And netas missing from the assembly, have we elected them for this only? I'll tell you, most of the MLAs must be in some theatre in Karnataka discussing about what is wrong and what is right in Padmavati.
Right.
They are not bothered about common people's life. Shameless people.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mahesh, for calling in. Completely understand your frustration. I'm sure Mahesh echoes several citizens who are feeling extremely let down by the state in Karnataka and the way things are going on. But let's go across to Dr. Madan Gaikwad, Honorary President, Sagar Hospital, who's joining me on the phone line at this point. Thank you very much, Dr. Gaikwad, for joining in. Help us understand what really we've had a chance to look at the demands and the basic bone of contention as far as the strike is concerned. But my question to you is, what has been the response of the government? What have they done to try and solve this particular issue?
You see, we've been approaching the government quite some time now, about 8-9 months. This discussion has been going on. The government constituted a joint select committee of the legislature to look in. We did have several rounds of meeting with them, but unfortunately, nothing concrete has come out. So that is the reason, we are kind of protesting.
But Dr. Gaikwad, we understand there was one of those contentious provisions that the government has given into.
Yes. Sorry?
One of the demands with regards to jail time, if I'm not wrong, that has been removed from the bill?
GST. Are you referring to GST?
No.
I didn't get you, sorry.
No, there was one provision out of there are 4 contentious provisions that the doctors have opposition to. Has the government given up on any of those 4 provisions so far?
Not yet.
Okay.
Nothing has happened.
Right.
We have met the Chief Minister also the other day, that is on 13th, day before yesterday. He has heard us and we are waiting for some positive response. He has been positive. He has given a good patient hearing. So we are hopeful and optimistic.
Right. Dr. Gaikwad, while, it's fair enough protesting and striking and waiting for something to come from the government side, but at the end of the day, patients are suffering. We've seen 6 patients who've died because of lack of medical facilities, and this protest is just increasing going forward. Do you not believe there could be some other way of showing a sign of protest or a strike rather than affecting the innocent man?
See, we have been doing this for about 8 to 9 months. We have been really pushed to the corner. We have been protesting. We have been using Gandhian principles also. Our people are on relay hunger strike as well as fast unto death. Nothing has happened. Now this, we are closing down only outpatient. Listen to me, only outpatient. The inpatient services, emergency services, chronic care for the dialysis patients, cancer care will continue. Emergencies, if a patient comes with a life-threatening emergency, it will definitely be taken care of.
But what is your response to the 6 lives that have already been lost because they did not get the medical attention in time?
I think the government should answer to that. The government should answer to that. They should have responded positively. Government should answer to that. And let me also clarify, not all are due to this particular strike. Anyway, they have gone to certain centers, like a heart attack. If they go to a small center, they will not be in a position to handle it. They have to refer it to a major center or to the government hospital. That's what I believe has been done. Right. And unfortunately, yes, we are also pained. We sympathize, but there is nothing much.
But Dr. Gaikwad, a government which does not attend its assembly sessions, where majority of the netas are not even present when they have to discuss crucial issues of governance. Do you believe that they will even take into consideration, or they will give weight to the fact that the strike is on, people are dying? I mean, isn't that, as a doctor, do you not feel that there should be some other way of getting the government's attention rather than letting innocent people die?
What else do we do? What else do we do? We have done everything. We have knocked on the doors of every single legislator, the health minister, the chief minister, everything, the opposition members, everything. Everybody has been told. And the recommendations given, the government set up a committee under the chairmanship of Justice Vikramjit Sen, who was the former Chief Justice of Karnataka. They have given recommendations. They have given recommendations in line with the Central Government Clinical Establishment Act. The entire recommendation has been set aside, and they have come with certain rigid and harsh conditions.
Okay.
So even the recommendations of the committee set up by the government itself under Justice Sen, where government was a party, we were a party, NGOs were a party, the law school, National Law School was a party, has been set aside. Does it mean that the committee under Justice Sen is not taken into all the social issues? They have taken it.
So what is the plan now going forward? We understand that tomorrow even the private clinics and some of the private hospitals are going to join in the strike.
The sentiments are running very high and emotional here. Our people, Indian Medical Association Karnataka branch, is protesting in Belgaum, where the Karnataka legislative session is currently on. All over the, every district, they are taking a decision to shut down the outpatient service. Bangalore also will shut down the outpatient service as a token of, solidarity. However, emergency will continue. I'm again re-stressing, emergency will continue.
All right.
Emergency care will continue.
All right. We'll leave it there, Dr. Gaikwad. Thank you so much for joining us and helping us understand what is happening. But let's not forget that there are 6 people who have already died, and there are more people who are perhaps going to be affected by this strike from tomorrow, because more hospitals, private hospitals and clinics are also going to be joining into this strike until the government gives in to the demand. Looks like neither side is willing to give way at this point. We'll just have to hope that the innocent man is not left hanging in midair. But on that note, let's slip into a quick break. We'll continue on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching The Big Story, and our focus today is on the state of Karnataka, where more than 30,000 doctors are on strike, and at the same time, several netas are missing in action, are not present in the assembly of the winter session. I'm going to go across back to my colleague Shrija, who's with me at this point. Shrija, talking about the other angle of the missing netas from the winter session, help us understand now, this is the 3rd consecutive day, if I'm not wrong. How many netas have actually been attending, and what is the reason? Do we know any reasons as to why the turnout is so low?
Right, Avni, as you rightly pointed out, saying a very handful of MLAs have only attended the assembly, because we, out of the 150 Congress MLAs, we only saw about 25 MLAs in presence. But if you really look on the whole, it was about 50 MLAs in attendance out of the 224 who had to be present. Now, look, this is the lack of quorum, and definitely this is the 3rd consecutive day, as you rightly pointed out, and it's been over the last 3 days, nothing concrete has been discussed. Now, remember, what we are also looking at, the reason given by these MLAs are all, in fact, a very personal reason, saying that they had certain work to do, because we are talking about the winter session, only a matter of 10 days, which you have to be discussing about the core issues of the state, the burning issues of the state, while the citizens here are suffering from various issues. When the MLAs themselves do not have time to discuss, but have got time to, in fact, bunk the assembly and say they had personal things to do. Now, this is the sorry state of affairs as far as Karnataka is concerned. Of course, we also hear that Chief Minister Siddaramaiah did give them a proper hearing, but however, despite that stern warning issued to these MLAs, hardly a few of them turned up for the assembly, is what we are given to understand. Now, remember, there are a slew of issues that needs to be discussed. The bills that we are looking at, first is the KPME
bill. Shrija, we'll come to those issues in a bit. I'm being joined on the phone line. Dr. Srinivas is calling us from Hyderabad. Dr. Srinivas, thank you for calling us. Tell us, what would you like to say?
Yeah, I would like to say, first of all, my support is there with the government, means private doctors of Karnataka. And I would like to say they are going to implement this KPME Act, which they are going to say that if they found guilty, they are going to imprison the doctor. Okay. And my question to the politicians or the government is that why can't they start the same thing to the politicians? They promise so many things during their election manifesto and they forget or they don't implement all those things. So why can't we start a grievance cell for them? And if they're unable to fulfill their manifesto, then we need to imprison them.
Right. All right.
And the second thing is that you should allow the doctor to work freely. See, every procedure has got a complication. Every procedure has got complication. Being a doctor, I can tell you the side effect of paracetamol is which we use for fever is fever only. So every complication has every treatment has got a complication. So the doctor will not work very freely to cure his patient, to allow the patients to come out of the disease. So give the doctors free hand, keep them happy, and no doctor would like to harm the patient.
Absolutely, Dr. Srinivas. Thank you so much for calling us with your view. Very important point that you're raising is why can't the same rules be implemented for the doctors and for the politicians as well? Why are doctors being singled out? Shrija, coming back to you, if you can very quickly take us through what are the major issues that are to be taken up. Of course, this medical bill is one of them. What are the other major issues this time round that are to be taken up?
Yes, Avni, there are other major issues also which needs to be discussed here in the House, floor of the House. Remember, we are looking at the superstition bill that also still hasn't been passed, and also we are looking at the Mahadayi row. Remember, this dispute has been going on for over 2 decades, and still the government has completely failed to pass a bill as far as the Mahadayi row is concerned. But we are looking at a lack of quorum for the ministers or the MLAs to sit down, chair a meeting or probably discuss and pass the bill, because what we see on ground here is we do not see especially the MLAs attending the proceedings. And how is that even possible? The representatives of the state not being present in the House to discuss some of the core burning issues of the state while letting the citizens here suffer. Now, these are the certain issues that needed to be in fact discussed in the floor of the House, but still it hasn't come to arrived at a concrete conclusion.
Absolutely, Shrija, some very important issues, and there are no netas in fact there to discuss them. Let's go across. Krishna calling us from Hyderabad. Hi Krishna, thanks for calling in. Tell us, what would you like to say?
Yeah, hi, thank you. I just wanted to say this, the health issue is the basic amenity. The doctors should not go on routes like this, because and even also the netas which are acting so irresponsible. This is not something issue regarding a movie or something like statues. People are dying here, and in the end, there is nothing more than a life. And the doctors also take some oaths and all to protect the life of a patient and all. And these people are acting like this. This is so irresponsible, according to me.
Absolutely,
Things can be sought out.
Right.
Even by talking and all, and the CM also, I don't think he should delay something. The decision should be taken early and early, as I don't think. As I saw in the news also, there are 6 people already died, and I think this has to be stopped at early.
Absolutely, Krishna, completely echo your thoughts. This is a question of people's lives. So whether it's the doctors, whether it's a government, they need to work together, come together, find the solution. And this going on strike, not giving medical facilities to the patients who need them. 6 lives already being lost. We don't know how many more, and perhaps with more doctors going on strike tomorrow. The government really needs to wake up and take some action, come up with some solution to ensure that this strike gets called off. That note, that's a wrap on this edition of The Big Story. Thank you for watching.